570-8347. You can send a text message or a WhatsApp message to those numbers. This morning, I am not alone. I have Mr. Anthony Wachuku with me this morning. He is a public affairs analyst. A friend of Vote FM. I respect him a whole lot, and of course, he helps me uh, discuss most of the social issues that we are struggling with in the country. And this morning, I would ask him about the development in Southeast and what insecurity is doing to disrupt that pace. But we will also look at the headlines this morning and tell you the stories that have made top headlines in the news this morning. But first of all, get to meet Mr. Tony. How are you, sir?
Well, the Hamilton, he's refused to. Something is happening. I don't know whether nature is still in control of its environment.
Do tell me, what have you observed?
Well, the thing comes and goes.
Okay.
It's like fleeting illusion. And, nobody knows what's going on. But nevertheless, nature remains in control.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Trying to be I'm trying to be the leader of the movement for light now.
Okay. What does that mean? Movement for light.
It's
What
about
does that mean?
it's about awakening.
Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Awakening of the people? Awareness? Can you explain it to us?
Yes, awakening of the people, the mind consciousness.
Okay.
That was the job Mary Magdalene of the Bible wanted to do. Actually, she was to be the successor to our Lord Jesus Christ.
How did you come up with that?
The politics of the disciples also nailed her down. Nevertheless, Nigeria is on the move.
To where?
Well, tomorrow is here.
Oh. Okay. That sounds like something
Except
you would want to believe.
It's like there's never tomorrow. All you do is you wake up to sunlight day and you're on the move.
But there's a question
because this part of the earth,
okay,
we experience a dark, what do you call it, the night.
Right.
Okay, but don't forget that there are locations of the earth, like Finland and the rest of it, where you don't see darkness. So it's daytime all through, and then you take a rest when your bones can't carry you anymore. You're shock observers.
Okay. All right. We are going to be looking at all of this. All right. You can join us this morning. You can call the studio lines. But let me tell you what's happening in the newspapers this morning. Let's start with the Vanguard. Terrorism presidency mom, DHQ thrilled over the arrest of Simon Ekpa and 4 others. So let me tell you this morning that Simon Ekpa was picked up in Finland yesterday. And as at this morning, it seems that his extradition back here to Nigeria has been approved. So he is probably coming home. What do you think about this?
Well, it's if that will be the good news, and if that will contribute to the, if that can be a solvent too. But I understand this thing you call terrorism. You see, Hamas has not closed.
Okay.
So many brotherhoods, so many terrorist groups have not shut down because of the whisking away or assassinations of the leadership.
So what's
So
the
there is
solution?
need. I continue to say that there is need for like when Obasanjo was president, he created a department for special group interest.
Okay.
And that was a department that handled most of these issues about insecurity and things like that. Because there's no way government can claim or pretend that it doesn't know what its citizens are doing. And citizens supposedly to be obedient of a government. That's supposed to be obedience of the government.
Okay.
And then if every citizen is supposed to be obedient to the government, and government on its own should ask itself and say, what do we do and where are we not getting it right and correct? It's very important. Like I told you about the special group interest that Obasanjo created. There is so much to know and so much to understand and also so much to excavate from such a thing. I think people should begin to run presidency or governor of a state or even chairman of a local government takes a lot more than clapping hands and then seeing the office as a barbecue pig. It's a serious office and so much things need to be done. So if you understand what I mean by special group interest, terrorism is about special group. There are threats. They have leaderships.
Okay.
Like if you bring down, if Simon is arrested now, and then Nigeria has applied for, it depends on the law, knowing also that he's a Finnish citizen. So it's just that, because you need to convince them that this man is a problem to you. And depending on Nigeria bilateral, the deal Nigeria have with Finland. So, but it's doable. But what I'm saying is this.
The allegations against him.
There is need for government at all levels to have a special group department that can actually, it's like the child and the mother. You have 3 children or 4 children, and one turned to be the rocket of the home. So you beat the child today, you beat the child tomorrow, you beat the child, and you notice one certain thing that happens. The father comes in one day and says, Robert, come. Takes Robert away. And after discussion with Robert comes back and things change in the home. So whose magic is the magic of the leadership?
Okay, so I have another premise for this particular conversation. I remember that the past administration paid ransom to kidnappers. Amnesty has been given to, bandits and things like that. There has been some reintroduction of some of these people back into our society, which was celebrated by our media and our, elite class. So I'm wondering, a nation that approaches terrorism and banditry and insurgency in this manner, what is the actual plan? Is it a government that really wants to fight insecurity? I don't know if you've heard about the Lukarawas, the new ones in town that are making even social media calls for recruitment. I don't know if you've heard about that. Okay, so what do you assume our government in Nigeria, what do you think that their language with these said groups is reflecting? I want to understand it.
The truth is that Nigeria kept breeding its new enemies every day.
What does this mean?
What it simply means is that the government should look in. How can you be graduating people year in, year out? And there is no absorbent. There is no regionalization. Somebody goes to school and then the parents spend close to 10, 12 million in training this fellow.
True.
And this fellow comes out from school and then only to find himself dependent back to the father of the parents again. It's disturbing. It's worrisome because going to school and the ages is also an issue.
Okay.
So what I think is this: government needs to look at the totality of its program and consider overhauling and look at ways. There is need also to talk with the very rich in our system.
What kind of talks do we have with them?
Do commerce talks, business talks, because too many people are holding too much money in their black-end rooms. And they are not investing because they are afraid to invest. So that somebody don't use the guise of tax and cripple them is an issue. So there are so many things to do. That's why I just mentioned one. as a special group interest. There is no way, like the government will say, foreign investor. No foreign investor will come to Nigeria if the indigenous investor is not investing. Do you understand?
Mm.
The Chinese is all over Nigeria. The Chinese,
for good reason.
yes, for good reason, they are approaching individuals via mails.
Really?
Fact. I can give you a lot of instances. They are approaching a lot of individuals for businesses, but people are afraid to tell these companies to come because if you have, for instance, you have 30 million naira,
okay,
as a limited partnership fund you can contribute, and the Chinese bring in the China interest, or your partner bring in 400 million naira, merge it to your own, and then as a Nigerian content, you bring it in. Then you start this company, and then in 2-3 years, tax cripple this company. What do you think that guy will look? How do you think that guy will look at you? So there are so many things the government need to do. The government need to govern with the faith of human being. If we bring in these businesses, if we talk to our people and they agree, the tax cut we are doing, tax we are collecting, is it for who? It's for citizens. It's to do the will of citizens. But if tax seeks to be for will of citizens, the tax is now for a very particular brand or group that goes into governance, and then they decide that they will tax and tax, like Jeroboam, sons of the wise Solomon. Okay, but it's wise for me is a Steve Solomon, because in a country of 1 million and only you is well to do, well, my friend late Atowankwa will tell you, think of the bike, the guy riding bicycle, think of the guy riding a motorbike, the motorcycle, and then look at the guy with the vehicle. These are three transportations that if there is no synergy among these three, the bicycle guy may decide to involve you into an accident, and it becomes that. Do you understand that?
Okay.
So it's a simple metaphor, and I've understood that. My position is this: government is for service, and if government is rendering service, citizens are bound to be obedient. And one of the services is providing employment. You know, having 10,000 tax collectors is just one segment of employment.
Okay.
But having the industries, okay, that make use of agro produce, depository mineral resources on the ground, they start getting it up and then putting it to use. If you have all these things, and then your graduate scientists are involved into production, so many things can go down.
All right, I will get back to you on that because we need to talk about this from a home front. But I need to run the newspapers through. Tax reform bills will scrutinize, be on the side of the people. National Assembly tells governors. 2/3 of households lack money for healthy food, says an MBS survey looking at Nigeria today. And that's all coming from the Vanguard News this morning. Let's quickly move over to the Punch newspaper and tell you, anti-Tinubu comments, ACF suspends chairman as Anifere and others back president. All right, moving on. EPA's terror charges. Federal government presses for extradition as IPOB disowns Biafra agitator. Okay, moving on. Visiting US-based Nigerian bought 9 drugs before death. I told you about a young man who had visited Nigeria from the US who died in his hotel. Well, investigations have proved this morning that he bought 9 drugs. They are not specifying which ones before he died. So it's obviously an overdose. Yeah. All right, PDP postpones NEC meeting as okay, National Central insists on chair. So instead of deliberator matters, these people have begun to have internal squabbles. All right, it's okay. Moving on. Okay, I'm qualified to be Lagos governor, said Obasa. For some reason, the governorship of Lagos in 2027 has begun to make a lot of a comeback in the news. Sheyi Tinubu being nominated by the coalition of Nigerian youths to be most likely to make presidency and make governorship of Lagos State come 2027. And then people cited that he was also married to an Igbo woman. So how would Lagos deal with that? Considering that Badebo Viva was
Mm,
disqualified for not being very Yoruba enough. So people were asking if an Omoibo will be first lady of
mm,
Lagos State.
mm.
And Lagos youths have also responded and have asked him to try his governorship ambitions in Osun State.
Yes, because he's from Osun State, but nevertheless, the constitution supports that. His father also was governor of Lagos State.
But he wasn't married to like an Igbo woman, considering what last elections, the template at which the elections
Well,
were held.
it depends on because monkey they walk, babu they chop. It depends on
What does
the
that mean?
political consciousness that currently exists in Lagos.
Hmm.
Mhm. So if Sheyi wants to run, let Nigerians not be distracted, and then let there be no divergent views. That is not the issue now. The issue now is about Nigerian economy that is wobbling,
That's not what
wobbling.
our presidency is saying. Our federal government thinks very differently
No, no, no. You
about
see,
this.
personally, I discussed with most of these guys that is there. Some of them that are friends to me.
Okay.
And then we keep asking question, why is this like this? Why is this like this?
And what did they
Because
say?
listen, this inflation that is brought about
Hmm.
is just somewhat because there was no synergy. There was no I don't think there was meetings of government. That's what I mean by that is the local government, the state, and the national government. I remember it was on the date and day of inauguration that this fuel subsidy was waived off.
Of course.
Good. But if somebody has given, if if the opportunity was generated and then given to states and local governments, and then there was a wait for that pronouncement after the inaugurations and government gets to business and do the actual thing they should do, I don't think this situation would have been by now. This secret and the truth and
Hmm.
then the light that we're seeing is that the petroleum subsidy is is a strong, it's having a very horrible strong code on Nigerians. The meaning is simple that the middle class and the very vulnerable poor are more in number in the country.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if they are more in the number and and you are stopping their public transportation system
Hmm.
by hyping and hiking, and you created inflation that is uncontrollable at that level for the vulnerable poor,
Hmm.
and then government should find a way of subsidizing. The state governments and local governments should find a way of putting this thing down. For instance, public transport.
Hmm.
I don't see any reason, nothing is stopping the state government from participating.
Oh, that's
Get
the question.
get
So
the very big listen.
why are we not seeing these things being done?
For
Because they
instance,
sound really pretty easy to execute, the things you were saying, considering the power of government.
mm,
So the underlying question there is
mm,
why are these things not being done? Before you answer me, let me finish off with the headlines this morning.
okay.
Apologies that
So
these
you
conversations,
raise the Shei's issue.
no, seriously, these conversations need to be had. And because there are too many of them, I like to
Yes.
see if we can like quickly touch on all,
Yeah, we
and
can.
not single out one because they are all very important
Yes.
conversations. 2027, Obasanjo knocks on INEC and asks for a reopen for the push for electoral reforms. Don't forget that last week he called for the resignation of Yakubu Mahmoud from the INEC as the head of INEC. But that's his thoughts. But the federal government doesn't seem to think that is something they need to do. Crisis rocks Edo as APC commissioner and their nominees list is out. out. Moving forward, hardship. Nigerians are waiting to show Tinubu exit door in 2027, says Bode George. He might be wrong about that, but that's just what I think at the top of my head.
It's very possible.
It's very possible. You are going to tell me about that. Moving forward, alcohol remains prohibited in Jigawa. Hisba seizes 78 cartons. Okay, but just remember some months ago they wanted food tax from
It's not
every
just
other.
about tax. They also take alcohol.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
But
They brew. They brew. The Fulanis brew what they call pito.
what is that? Okay, I'm not familiar.
It's a kind of drug. It's a kind of drink that's they use millets. Okay.
Does it have a local name?
Called dawa.
Is that no? What's the drink called?
Pito.
Pito.
Yes, the Fulanis knows about that.
Okay.
And then when you move down towards North Central Nigeria, they call it brukutu.
Okay, because I've seen where they drink it
So
from the bowl.
they take alcohol. So this is just noise they're making. Islam does not condemn taking alcohol.
Really?
Yeah, but you take it and control yourself.
Okay, because I mean it's written on most of the disclaimers and things like that. But they destroy these productions. They destroy this produce. We've seen them trash crates and open crates of alcohol and said is haram. Is that what it's called?
Haram.
Haram.
Yeah.
So it's haram. So why would they demand IGP generated by some of these beverages and demand that they get also allocations developed from this?
The truth is that some Islamic practitioners just take laws into their hands and things like that. And whatever you see in Islam that is being condemned or that is condemned by any Islamist is exactly what the fellow does in the dark end.
Yeah, but officially that is not the case.
Hisba is not the government of Jigawa State, and Hisba is not Nigerian constitution. Jigawa is in Nigeria.
Okay.
But
now that they seize these things.
Though the constitution also supports this Islamic system too.
All right, let's start taking your calls. Let's start taking your calls. We're open. Good morning.
Hello.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Davis, good morning.
I greet you.
My special greetings to the Oga and the guests and the house.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, from Akwan Road.
You're welcome.
I totally support what is that Dr.
Mr. Tony, yes. He's here.
I totally
He's
support him, especially as it affects this issue of transportation. You see, when I express my opinion, people will think that I have hatred on the governors. Tinubu is not doing well. But let me tell you, people are feeling the impact of what Tinubu has done more because the governors do not want to do anything that will benefit the masses. I told you 2 days ago, I bought 400 gallons of water for 12,000 naira. But this is the water that has been touted in Enugu, that every household will get what they want.
You better know that as far as national issues are concerned, Enugu has water provided by the governor. You must know that.
In Akwa Road, there's no water. There is Gariki, there's no water. In Topland, there's no water. In Maryland, there's no water. So where are those places people are touting that water is running everywhere? If all these places that I've mentioned now have no water, if you go to Emene, along that airport road, I'm talking about the ones I'm quite sure they don't have water.
I can tell you that some parts of Independence Layout does not have water. You stay around.
Yeah, Terra in New Haven too.
In New Haven too. So it's not just the even more local areas.
But the truth could be that sorry sir, the truth could be that there's work in progress.
The issue of transportation. When Sullivan came and saw that transportation was becoming problematic, especially for the students who are now moving from that place to such places, he provided that low-cost buses. While the other people were charging 15 naira, he was charging 30 naira.
And
I came and abandoned that project, which was helping the masses, the
Yes.
poor ones.
Yes.
And look at it, and that came in and decided to abandon it.
Yeah.
And those governors, when they talk about when
Mm.
they talk about the fuel subsidy removal, governors are happy because they are now getting almost triple what they were getting before the fuel subsidy was
Mm-hmm.
and instead of, I could remember when people called them and pleaded with them, now that they are getting excess money, why not go and make sure that it gets to the grassroots? By providing those social amenities that are needed by the poor, by clearing the areas of gratuity they are going to. They decided not to do it. So they now cause trouble. It's doing too much hardship. And the governors. And yes, every month, like if you look at the list of the security posts they collect every month, that of as small as it is, collect 5 million and then you collect 700 million. After what they call it, 850 million. What are we talking? These are millions that somebody is collecting every month, and there is still a lot of insecurity. Give me the half a guy and we can die. Water 400 gallons, 12,000 naira. So I cannot call it. And then instead of coming with that level or objective of that low cost transportation, or just he may be you can all those vehicles. Tomorrow is here. No problem.
We will appreciate that.
Get those sources, flood it everywhere, call it whatever I want to call it. Whether the masses have something breathing, fresh air. So, Tony, God bless you. Continue. I'll say come back again. Let others contribute. Thank you from Aban Road.
Thank you. Okay, from Amani Road, sir. It's a pleasure to hear from you this morning.
Just a little contribution to what you just said.
All right.
I've said this.
Can we talk to some other people
Okay.
before you answer that? All right. Good morning to you.
Good morning, my honorable president.
Good morning to you.
I came back to Enugu and I loved your program.
I greet you. Thank you very much.
Yesterday morning.
Oh yes, from Abuja.
Yeah.
I remember. You're welcome back.
Okay.
Please tell us your name. Tell us your name and where you are now.
My name is Chikubelu.
Okay.
I'm currently in Urbana Square.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So, the issue of the economy.
Yes, we can hear you. Hello. Right, I think something's gone on with Chidubem's lines. Hopefully he will call back. Mr. Tony, you were about to take something from Mr. Okay's contribution.
No, it's just ongoing. The government should get serious in. Government should understand that the people afflicted by this petroleum subsidy removal is actual vote base of our elections. Vote base of our the middle class and the very vulnerable poor. Okay, so there's no big deal. Government should look at housing. It is time for alternative housing. It is time to create a new layout by government where we will not have the flat and 4-bedroom bungalow system of housing development, where allocations can be given to people, not to people who build houses for what you call a house merchant. But listen.
It seems it's not so difficult because we are also building for judges. You're welcome. Good morning.
Yeah,
You're welcome. Your name and location, please.
just
You're welcome.
okay. See, I laugh when I hear that she's bad or what? What is it called? They destroyed alcohol.
Okay, the HISPA.
Yes, that they destroy alcohol. Is alcohol more dangerous than those substances they take down the note?
But these are not official. It seems like it's a mental thing. It's assumed that because of probably religion and cultural practices that they do not participate in some of these things. It's been marketed for
But
ages now.
Islam does not condemn the intake of alcohol.
You are telling me I didn't know that.
Islam,
Buy yourself a
does
Quran.
Islam,
Mm.
maybe, does Islam condemn alcohol and then allow all these hard substances to be taken? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so. So these people should know what is good and right. They are just trying to destroy people's businesses. Not that they are just willing. They are just intentionally destroying people's
Envy.
It's not that those people that sold those hard drugs that will make them to pick a gun and start shooting people, killing people.
Ethnic
So
envy.
I don't think
Ethnic
alcohol
cleansing.
can never give you the morale or boost your morale for you to hold a gun and start shooting people. Alcohol does not do that.
Oh, wow.
Alcohol
Do
does
you
not.
agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh?
No. We're listening to you. We're trying to make sense of it.
Maybe you are not in the system.
He says I'm not in the system.
Someone can say. I don't know whether it's members.
I know. I'm more of the ice cream department. I'm more of the ice cream department.
Maybe it's one of our members. He can agree. Or maybe I need another person to confirm.
No, Mr. Tony kind of agrees with you, so you have an accomplice.
So that is it. Alcohol can never hurt a fly. So they should leave alcohol alone. For most of us, even for most of us who believe a little in it, so they should leave it for us. I don't think.
But since they don't like it, why do you think that they are demanding what comes out of its proceeds? Why do you think they're demanding to get cuts from the proceeds?
Very, very simple. They just to destroy people's business. That's all. It's very intentional. It's just to destroy people's business and nothing more about it. So let them leave it alone. I have never seen someone who, after drinking alcohol, to pick up a gun and start shooting people. It only has substance that can just do that. And they should go into that area and make sure they get it to the root and stop leave the food for the boys or the men for us.
All right. Good morning to you too. Have a great day ahead. All right, we are also live on YouTube. You can see I am Mr. Tony Live. It's High Voltage News. Please like, subscribe, and share. You will be doing this program a big one. All right, we are also open for sponsorship and participation. You can come to number 64 or Zubolo Street and have a very good, productive business conversation with us. It's very, very productive to do that. All right, Sam Onyekore joined us from the US this morning, and he says, so shameful that a country like Nigeria, after 64 years of independence, cannot provide clean pipe-borne water and electricity. The excuse is work in progress. Every project is an avenue for embezzlement. And then he continues, okay, sorry, I meant can't provide clean. Okay, he's trying to complete the message. He said, why condemn alcohol but promote AK-47? I'm watching from Texas, USA. All right, please get other Nigerians, in your locality to listen, because most times they need to know what's really happening here, except minus the things that have been read on the general media. Most times our people are not completely informed of what's happening at home. So please, I would encourage that those of you who are in the diaspora tune into our more local content so that you would hear the things that are happening here at home, so that you can have a better understanding of what's really going on. Now,
just inform you, what the guy was talking about is what they call choir.
What is that?
In outside, it's called choir. It's drugs.
Drugs.
Yes,
we've heard of
drugs like cannabis, like heroin, like cocaine, and then very funny. These guys, there's what they call it. They flame up Dunlop gums, and then
I've heard of the sniffing of gums.
Yes, that can be
there
very,
was
very
there was a lizard feces pandemic at some point.
But in all, Islam also uphold that all that was created by Allah is good.
It's good. It also says the same thing in the
in the
Christian
Christian
Bible.
Bible.
Yes.
And then
That all of God's
all
creations are
religions
good.
uphold that all that God created
Is
is
good.
good. So if it is good, why is somebody saying don't brew alcohol? Who is the creator of alcohol? Who created the palm fronds, the palm trees, and things like that? And then who deposited all the mineral resources on the ground? So it's still God. So nobody has right to challenge anything that God created.
All right, our phone lines are still open. You can call us live into the studio, and you can send us a text message or WhatsApp message 0706-048-5853. Also call 0915-570-8347. On our investigated stories this morning, the Nigerian police will soon start wearing body cams soon, says the police force PRO. Is this a good thing? Yes or no?
Body what?
Body cams, that's body cameras. Is this a good thing?
It's a good thing.
All right. The Unizik Vice Chancellor, who has been in the news for a whole lot. Well, he made a statement and he says, I can't be removed through press statement. I don't know if he knows that the presidency has tried to intervene in this matter. Does he have the right to say this?
It's his opinion. He's the vice chancellor. He knows what the rules and regulations of his university is all about.
But they've dissolved the governing council of Unizik.
Who did?
The president.
Then he's a federal school, so I think the presidency has rights to do
Yeah,
that.
the presidency intervened and dissolved the governing council of the Unizik.
And then they ousted the vice chancellor.
Yes, ousted him, but he has refused to vacate office, saying that he can be removed via press statement, whatever that means.
Well, that's for him. I hope he likes himself.
Right.
Well, we're in Nigeria.
Well, let's see how that unfolds. You know, for
You
some reason,
should know that we're in an era of the Milocons.
very importantly to note that. Okay, but for some reason the drugs came up in our conversation this morning.
Yes.
And just 12 hours ago, the National Assembly passes a bill for life imprisonment for drug traffickers in Nigeria.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
this
aware of that.
12 hours ago. What do you think about that? Good?
Well,
Or a long time coming?
There's no problem with that if that will help us curb what is going on in the country, drug as it concerns drug usage and drug
abuse,
and then drug merchants too. But we have to look at what do you call it? We have to look at what we call the real democracies, destinations of the earth, what their own system supports. I think life imprisonment.
Okay.
That law is passed, but I think life imprisonment should have been better.
Life imprisonment.
Sure.
That is what has been issued. So they've passed the bill for life imprisonment for drug traffickers.
Is it life imprisonment or death?
Life imprisonment.
Then if it's life imprisonment, there is a deal.
It's a deal.
Yes.
So it's a deal for the drug.
For the drug merchants.
It's a deal for the drug merchants.
So knowing that you spend all your life in jail.
Okay.
If you are caught doing this, and then it serves the punishment via the gun, or whichever way that life can be taken away. And one of the problems we have also is that you see the judiciary may pass a judgment of in compliance with the law, and the executives will shrug and renege from executing it.
Oh, we have seen such situations.
So many cases like that is dumped. They refuse to. So if we refuse to, why don't we look at the law? Why don't you have a law that can say, okay, you stay in the prison behind for 40 years, 50 years. Imagine jailing someone who is already 60, and you say we'll jail you for 60 years. So another 60 years will amount to 120. And then the question
what is the possibility of the person staying that long?
So, but it's just to a window for people who are in that life imprisonment I personally support life imprisonment.
Life imprisonment. You don't think there can be any walking around it? You know, we have seen people walk around certain laws in this country. I mean, MC Oluomo refused to back down from the law, from the court order that said he cannot assume office as NURTW president.
Well,
So we've
the
seen
court,
bypassing
the
of
court,
court
the
orders.
court has made an order. The next thing would be, if anybody is in contempt of an order, if you don't notify the court that Mr. John refused to obey you at this, that Mr. John is in contempt of this, then that's what they call, they raise Form 49. If you don't do that, the court will not on its own do otherwise.
Oh, really?
Sure. There's no way a court can know that the order it gave was not complied with,
Yes.
except you go back to the court
To
and
say.
and there's a process you follow. You don't just enter the court and say, "Oh God, come, this thing you said the other day did not work." So MC Olumo will eventually obey.
You believe this?
It doesn't matter where his own influence is coming.
He does have a lot of influence.
No, he has a lot of. I think I know he has a lot of influence in that territory.
In that territory.
Yes, as it concerns the business he's doing, and then his political interests.
That's right.
And then his political relationship with the president.
That's right.
So we know that, but nobody can destroy Nigeria because he has a relationship with the president. Nobody can crush our judicial system because he has a relationship with the president.
Do you truly believe this? We have seen the body language of the people in this administration. It seems that affiliations with the presidency gives you some sort of, I don't know, maybe some marks ahead, some steps ahead to act in certain ways.
My sister, I hope you are aware that Netanyahu, that International Court of Justice, issued warrant for arrest on him.
Oh yes, as soon as he steps into his country.
I hope you had. Now he's in the defense.
Okay.
He's now in the defense, and they're retracing himself. So there are things we don't do. Nobody's above the law. What was not achieved today can be achieved tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
All right. Reps reject the bill seeking 6-year single term for presidency in Nigeria.
Oh, well, that's for reps. 6 years single.
6-year single term for presidency.
For president. They prefer 8 years.
I mean,
4 years term.
8 years sounds better.
That's
to me.
presidential democracy that we copied from America that we are practicing. But the term clause we appreciate. But what about defense for democracy? What about the democratic institutions? What's their performance? So that's not where the problem. Term of office is not where the issue is. The issue is with the elections organizers of the country. The people that organize the body, the commission that organize election in the country is the issue. So I think
but nobody seems to have a problem with the way that institution is being run.
No, that's the problem of democracy. The first challenge that we have in this country is, number one, your voting system.
Our voting system,
yes,
as a nation.
As a nation.
What do we do with it? Throw it away completely or reform it?
Oh, it's reform. Reform. Review the law. Look at the ingredients of election systems that you have in the democracy you borrowed this thing from.
Okay.
It's a presidential system of government, and I think it's only us that is running that type of government in Africa.
In Africa?
Sure.
What system of government do you think most other African countries use?
Parliamentary.
Parliamentary. And do you recommend that for us? Do you think that's what we need?
Well, parliamentary system is a drag on its own, but the presidential system gets things done.
It gets things done.
How people get to these power positions is an issue. So we need an electoral reform that can work. We need an electoral reform that can help us. Because when election comes, INEC is in the local government headquarters. So how do you want that INEC to work?
All right. Because we don't have a lot of time, let me quickly ask you, right?
The state offices of INEC is off government premises, but the local government office of INEC is in government premises.
See, look at what I want to say, because you mentioned something about our voting system, the manner at which we select the people who we put into office. Now, my question is, we elect, and because our election puts them into office. So this is my point. How ignorant is the Nigerian electorate when it comes to what she needs to know, what the general public needs to be aware of, what they need to look out for when, selecting or electing their leaders and office holders as a people? Can you tell us real quickly so that
the first
we
business
will know?
is that the system have to allow the vote count. And then the second issue that I've said it severally, that political parties are not embarking on enough voter educations. And then government agency, what you call the National Orientation Agency, is not doing anything about it too. Nigerian voters are not adequately educated.
On purpose or not? Is it on purpose that they are not adequately educated about what the civic responsibility really is?
It could be on purpose.
It could be.
It could be on purpose. That's not the truth. It could be on purpose, and something needs to be done, because we need to protect this democracy. Look at the way the petroleum issue. So the president inaugurated on the square, and then maybe at the gladness of his heart, we say petroleum whatever bonanza is gone up.
The subsidy.
And then he announced it without taking into consideration the feelings, the impact of that pronouncement. In as much as he's the president, he has every power. He has a power above any other power in Nigeria. But that's president for Nigerians. He's not president for Zimbabwe or Uganda. He's president for Nigerians. So the priority, every president, every governor, every local government chairman should and must prioritize Nigerians.
Must prioritize Nigerians. Thank you so much, Mr. Anthony Nwachukwu, public affairs analyst and friend of Vote FM. Thank you so much for everyone who's joined us on YouTube this morning. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, double tap, share, and subscribe, okay? It means so much to me. Thank you so much for your support. Amy Osemeka, I think we should put legislation to limit how politicians jump from party to party. Wike and PDP comes to mind. Okay, Sam Onyekwere also is saying life imprisonment doesn't make sense. The level of hardship and joblessness leads the youths into drugs. In America, we have rehab for drug addiction. Why not pass such bills for corrupt politicians? Good one, Mr. Sam. If you introduce life imprisonment for politicians who steal public funds, the bill will never see the light of day. Mr. Sam, it's so unfortunate that I wish you could call us live into the studio. It sounds like it will be very interesting to speak with you. And someone said Pito and Burukutu are two different types of northern alcohol brewed by Middle Belt, mainly the Tiv and the Idoma tribe. Are they really Muslims, these people?
And some of them are Muslims, but Pito also, I know very well. I lived in the north. I related with the Filanis. I have a lot of Filanis here as my friends. They also offer me Pito.
Oh, they offer you? Have you tasted it?
Yes.
Is it a good kind?
Super.
Maybe one of these, it's vacation season by next month, so maybe good things will happen. I will have better experience to tell you. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me this morning on High Voltage. I appreciate all of my callers. I'm sorry that I couldn't take everyone's call, but this program comes to you every weekday, 9 a.m. till 10. All right? When you go out there today, please be good to yourself and everyone else. All right? Be kind to one another.